This project began a decade ago while I was pregnant with my first child. I kept thinking during that time and afterward, through those first all-consuming years of parenthood, 2 miscarriages, and the birth of my second child, about the ways in which women have served as mediums throughout history, and of the ways they continue to serve. I thought of and looked again and again for guidance from the powerful women whose bodies, minds, and spirits have acted as conduits of knowledge and intuition, as points of convergence for the past, present, and future, and as concrete points of channeling and accessing a way forward, or sideways, or otherwise. It may be that every book is an effort to test the boundaries of the self, language imagined as a sort of bridge between the known and the unknown, between subjective perspective and whatever the subject is not. In extending these poems across vast breaches of language, experience, sensibility, and time, my hope is that they'll testify to distance as well as to desired or potential proximity. More than that, I hope they might lend shape to those aspects of experience we presume to be unknowable, unspeakable, or prohibitively other, so that even distance and difference might be encountered not as a breach, but as a connective element, one that joins us to one another, as well as to what we don't and perhaps can never understand. The limits these poems evoke are real, in other words, but so too are the possibilities of lyric poetry understood in the broad sense suggested by the cultural historian Johanna Skibsrud, quote, to include not only the lyrical genre as such, but all moods expressive of rapture. Of all possible modes of linguistic expression, the lyric, Huizinga writes, is the farthest removed from logic, and can therefore be considered a close cousin to music and dance. These poems were written in celebration of this ancient kinship. They are intended to evoke and revel in the indistinctions between body and spirit, sense and nonsense. They're intended to be read out loud, to be donned like masks. Also like masks, they're intended to be playful conduits for magic and for the voices of others. They're intended to tell stories, drawing from the experiences of people now long gone, but they're also intended to operate in a prophetic mode. Specifically, my hope is that there remains room within the poem's structures for the reader, you, to bring about new ways of experiencing and understanding them. In keeping with the speaker's role as medium, I hope these poems may serve to amplify the voices of their readers and performers, while at the same time, in a choral rather than a rhetorical mode, asking, who is speaking really, and who isn't? Who or what is being addressed? Finally, what new possibilities or relations might potentially take form in the space of that address? In the space between I and you, or between speech and silence?